Today, I am actually going to be sharing with you all so you can see firsthand a real life scenario of one of my clients that I've worked with. The thing that just amazes me about the velocity banking strategy, and particularly how we were able to so positively impact this particular customer, was that prior to getting on a call with me, before we analyzed the situation, he was told that it was going to take 3 years just to pay off a portion of the debt that we're going to be able to more quickly and efficiently pay off for him. So it was actually costing him $230 a month. He was working with an attorney to help him avoid having some of his funds actually being taken from out of his paycheck. So he came via the channel, and here we are working. And I promised to be able to share this with you. I got the thumbs up from him, and so without further ado, this is what we're going to do right now. So this particular customer, just a little bit backstory on him. He's in his 50s and he's married, and he has 2 children right now. He has some adult children, but two of his 4 children still live with him, and he's actually providing for their needs right now. So point number one, when you are using the velocity banking strategy, is extremely, extremely important that you know your numbers. So write that down if you're taking notes. What are my numbers? And the 4 key numbers that we're talking about is your income, your expenses, how much debt you currently have, and your cash flow. So those are the 4 key numbers that you want to make sure that you absolutely know. In this case, I broke it down between biweekly and monthly for him. And the reason why I do that is because most of us pay bills on a weekly or biweekly purpose. So it just helps make it a little bit more visually appealing, because every one of us has an idea of, okay, I'm going to get paid on this Friday. This is how much I'm going to get paid. And we kind of like tend to pay our bills that way. So that's why I broke it down that way. Now, I do want to share some key things, and I'll remind you watching this video today is always have clear expectation of what your goals are. Okay, try to keep your goals between short and long-term goals, but maybe you want to write 2, in this case 3 goals that we had. So the first goal that we had is to pay off his debt within 3 years. So remember, this is what he was told when he working with the law firm that he's working with. Only part of his debt was going to be able to be paid within the 3 years. Okay, so just keep that in mind. His second goal was he wants to be able to increase the amount he's giving to retirement plan. So he wants to be able to increase savings in his retirement. As I mentioned, he's already in his 50s. He doesn't have many more years to go. And he's at the point now in his life when he realizes, I need to speed this up. I need to be able to take more advantage, but I can't do that if I don't pay off my debt more quickly. The last goal that he has is to fund his college funds for his son. Kind of like a rhyme there, fund college funds for son. So those are his 3 goals. Among his 3 major goals is that, right? Again, you got to have goals. You got to have your goals written down. Your goals serve as a road, a map for you of where you want to go. The strategy of velocity banking helps you to get there, okay? And if you've been watching my channel for any time, you know that one of the benefits of velocity banking is it helps you do it more quickly and more efficiently. Now, let's talk about his debt. Where does the 118,600 come from? Well, 97,000 is in a mortgage. Okay. Then he has 19,000 that are made up of 2 loans. Okay. And then the last part of his debt is made off of 2 different credit cards that he has. One of them is 2,300. The other one is 1,300. Credit card 1, credit card number 2. If we add that together, That's how we get 118,600. Now, I mentioned to you that right now he's paying an additional $230 a month to a law firm so that he avoids having his wages garnished. And so, what we want to be able to do is how we can more quickly and efficiently get him back some of that cash flow that right now is going to other places. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pause the video because I need to be able to clear up some space here so that I can show you what these numbers will look like in just a moment. So give me a few minutes. I'll be right back with you. Okay, welcome back. What we're going to talk about now is what is the $118,600 comprised of. We know that $97,000 belong to the mortgage. We also know that he had two loans that totaled $19,000. We have one credit card that totaled $1,300 and another credit card which totaled $1,300. That's how we got this total, okay? Now, one of the things I forgot to mention earlier was that these credit cards, because the interest rates are so high on them, I believe one is at 28%, the other one is at 29%. So high interest rates, and because the interest rate is so high on them, he was really extending himself, making extra payments. So he was making $200 payments every single month, while at the same time he was still using the credit cards for different expenditures throughout the course of the month. So when we did this, which was a previous step that we did, we showed that we were eliminating $3,600 worth of debt, right? Which was these two credit cards. So what happens? We're eliminating $3,600 worth of debt, but we're also eliminating, okay, $200 payments for each card. So because we are eliminating on one side, when you do velocity banking, you always have an even Steven type of deal, meaning that for every dollar that you pay off in debt, that money will then transfer back over to your cash flow. So now he just made $400 because it's no longer going to the credit cards. You see how that works? Fantastic. Which means his new cash flow is now $2,248.46 because he's getting that money back, which that gives him more money to work with at the end of the day. So mortgage, loans, no more credit cards. So we just got the basis, right? We eliminated with the first pay that he had for that particular month, we eliminated the $3,600, and now that credit card is going to become his debt tool. That's actually what we're going to begin to use as what we call our debt tool, right? Our debt tool. We have our debt tool, and he's going to use the debt tool to run monthly expenses. Okay, that's what we're going to be doing through that debt tool. Now, with this particular client, this is no longer his expenses because we just eliminated the $400. His new expenses is going to be $4,135. Okay. Of that $4,135, $1,300 goes to the mortgage. So he can't run expenses for the month, or for the mortgage rather, he can't run it through the expenses of the credit card, meaning that there's going to be a balance left of what he can and cannot run for the month on credit. That number, okay, we take away $1,300 for the $4,135, we're going to get $2,835. This is what every month he will be running through the credit card, okay, which will be this credit card here, because this credit card that's now at zero, 2,300, has a limit of $6,000. He's going to leverage that credit card and run his monthly expenses through it. So remember, we said that in payment number one, he used the entire amount of his income plus an additional $408, I believe it was, to completely liquidate his credit card. And it left him with a zero balance. There it is right there, $3,191. He took $408, $24 that he had in his savings account. He liquidated that credit card. Now, in payment number two, he's going to get paid for the second time in the month. Okay, pay number two. That's when he's going to start utilizing the income that's going to be coming in to actually start to pay down the next part of his loan, which is the 19,000. And I'm gonna get the board a little cleaned up, and we're gonna see how that looks up right after I come back. Okay, thanks for your patience. Okay, we're ready for the next step, and now we're gonna start tackling that $19,000 in debt. And the way we're gonna do that is, remember, let's recap a little bit. We know that we liquidated, right? We completely paid off his credit card debt that he had. Now we're able to have that credit card, which has a limit of $6,000 available for him to run his monthly expenses through. Okay. Now I know what you're thinking. Okay, that's going to cause an interest rate. Well, the way the credit work is, you always have a grace period in credit. Typically, credit gives you between a 21 to maybe 24, 25-day grace period. So he's going to be able to continue to leverage that credit card and make purchases throughout the course of the month. What's going to happen is, right around that 21 or 24th day, then it's going to generate a statement, which he will get the following month. That statement will come with a due date that he would have to pay. The way credit works is, as long as you pay your payment in full, you will not incur any interest. It doesn't matter what the interest rate is. So yes, he will have a running interest balance going on there, or rather he will have a running expenses through it. But when the time comes and he has to make that statement, he's going to take whatever it shows on his statement plus what he has charged. And we know that those running expenses to his total $2,835. He will then liquidate the credit card and start the process all over once again. What we're going to do in the meantime is we're going to focus on the 19,000. So let's talk about what we know. This is his second, let's call it payday. Payday number two. Payday number two, what's going to happen is he's going to have an income. And by the way, I do want to make a correction. As I was, I paused the video and I was looking at my numbers and getting prepared for this, I realized I made a mistake. It actually should be $1,848.52 as his cash flow, not 46 cents. So I apologize about that. We're going to make a quick correction then, and that's also going to change his cash flow by 6 cents, right? 52 cents, all right? We're trying to be as accurate as possible with the numbers. That's going to make a difference. So here we are, payday number two. Payday number two, he owes $19,000 on those two other loans. Now, what we're going to do, because one thing that we did not do the first pay period was pay off his mortgage. Now we know, based upon the numbers that we have here, his income is $3,191.76. However, when he's running the expenses through the month, only $2,835 of the expenses can be paid through his credit card. The other $1,300, which we discussed here, he has to send a check, he has to pay it through online banking, whatever the case might be, directly to the mortgage company. So we have to then deduct that $1,300, which is going to pay differently from the mortgage. That's going to create a different dollar in terms of what's cash flow is available for him to use. That number is, we'll figure it out right now, $3,191.76 minus $1,300. That's going to give us $1,891.76. Okay, that's payday number two cash flow that he has left over, right? So we can deduct that from this amount. So we're going to take the 19,000 on payday number 2, and we're going to deduct 1891.76. That's going to give us $17,108.24 at the end of payday number 2. That's absolutely amazing. If you remember, when he started to work with the law firm, they quoted him, hey, it's going to take us about 3 years to pay this $19,000 that you want to have paid off, in addition to the $8,000 that you have to pay us throughout the course of the year. So that doesn't make a lot of sense, right? This is the power of velocity banking. It actually, I keep talking about it because this is so true. It actually helps you pay off debt more quickly and more efficiently. So this is exciting. I'm getting really hyped up about this, but let's continue, right? We're going to go to the next payday. So I'm just going to call that payday number 3. And obviously we are into the next month. So remember, we talked about him running his expenses to the credit card. Now we're at payday number 3. What's going to happen? He has to fully pay down that balance on his credit card, which, if he holds true to the expenses, is going to be $2,835. So what that's going to mean is we're going to do the same thing, $3,191.76. This time, what we're going to do is deduct that $2,835. That leaves us with a balance or a difference of $356.76. Okay, so this is the cash flow that's available after he ran his expenses and paid it, for him to make another payment to that loan. When we do that, we get a total $16,751.58. Some of you may be thinking, okay, what about the loan interest that he's being charged for the 19,000? Remember, this is the mitigation right now. He's not being charged any loan interest rates. He's paying the attorney $230 a month so that they can help him mitigate the process of paying that down over 3 years, so that he doesn't get his wages garnished. Okay, we're helping speed that process up by doing the velocity banking, utilizing the increase of the cash flow that we got when we paid off the credit card. So look at the difference already. Payday number 3, there's $16,751.48. Now let's go. I'm going to write it a little smaller. Payday PD number 4. What happens in PD number 4, right? Well, $3,191.76 is coming in. We got to deduct the mortgage this time because that has to be paid. That leaves us with $1,891.76. Let's do the math on that. $1,891.76. That gives us a balance. Look at this. This is absolutely amazing. Running out of boardroom here. But his new balance is $14,859.72 in a period of, here's the second period, third period, or third payday, fourth payday. So this is a period of 2 months. In a 2-month period, he's paid down that $19,000 in loans to $14,859.72. And I hope by now you see where this is going and how velocity is actually speeding up the repayment of these 2 loans. Let's continue. We're going to put this back up here. $14,859.72. What's going to happen here? It's going to be payday. We're going to go payday number 4, or excuse me, payday number 5. Payday number 5. What's going to happen? We know that in payday number 5, there's going to be less available because he then has to pay off the running expenses from the previous month, which is going to leave him a balance of $356.76. Okay. Now, if you do the math of the $356.76 with the $1891.76, you're going to see that the cash flow is going to come out to $2,248.52. We're just chunking it at different points of the month based upon when he gets paid and based upon what's left over after he pays the two key bills, which is the credit card and the mortgage. So we're going to take 14,859. We're going to deduct that from 356.76. That's going to give us a number now, $14,502.96. We're going to rinse and repeat. Payday number 6, or 3 months in. We're going to deduct $1,891.76. Let me do the math on that. That's going to drop it down to $12,611.20. Okay, move my marker over, and let's do it again. Payday number 7. That the balance is, he's going to pay his credit card. He's going to have $356.67 left over. And that's going to give us $12,254.44. Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. This is just otherworldly. You know, it's going to get you pumped up when you start seeing how quickly those balances are dropping, and you're really not changing anything. All you're doing is positioning your money and putting it to work for you instead of having it work for the banks, or in this case, even for the law firm. So in payday number 7, he's down to $12,254.44. And I think I can squeeze this in here, but let me write this down over here. $12,254.44. I'll try to write a little smaller, just for the case of trying to get everything in there. We're going to deduct his paycheck minus the mortgage, $1,891.76. $1,891.76. I calculated already, $10,362.68. Okay, and this was what? Payday number 8. Okay, we're going to go to 356.76, which is payday number 9. And what is that going to do for us? That's going to bring our balance down to $10,005.92. We're going to do it again with the next payday. This is simple. Basically, it's just rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. So this is payday number 10. When we do payday number 10, he's down to now the balance of $8,114.16. Okay, let's continue. The next payday, which is payday 11, 356.76. I'm writing smaller a little bit because I'm trying to get everything as much as I can. Yes, I'm going to need a bigger board eventually. 40. Okay. Next payday, let me move my marker over, is $1,891.76. Brings it to $5,865.64. This is payday number 12. Okay. $5,865.64. Alrighty. And now he's going to pay the credit card off that he's been running expenses through. That's going to give us this balance to work with, or cash flow rather, 356.76, dropping the loan amount to $5,508.88. We are then going to do the $1,891.76. He's going to get payday. Oh, I forgot to write that down. That was payday number 8. This is, sorry guys, payday number 12. This is payday 13. And this is number 14, payday 14. And let's do the balance after payday number 14. That is $3,617.12. And this is getting really good right here, almost to the end. We're going to deduct the next payday, what he's going to have in terms of cash flow. That's going to give us 3,036. This is payday number 15. Payday 16 is going to be 1891.76 as cash flow, which leaves us a balance $1,368.60. That's so awesome. One last time. 356.76. All right. This was payday number 16. Now we're on payday number 17, which is going to drop our balance to 356.76. $1,011.84. That's absolutely amazing. We know what's going to happen by payday number 18, right? Based upon the income, he's actually going to have more than enough available to liquidate this this last payment, and he would have paid off a total of 19,000. Well, actually, it's actually more because we did the 3,600 upfront for the credit card. That freed up the credit card to be used as a debt tool to be able to run the expenses with, and then we started tackling with the increase in cash flow. We started tackling that $19,000. So we see here a period of 18 different times he got paid, right? You can do this on a monthly basis if you like. For him, it was easier to understand this based off of a biweekly process. So we have 18 payments, right? So he's getting paid every 2 weeks. We divide 18 payments. You're looking about anywhere between 8.5 to 9 months that it took to pay not only this $19,000, but the additional $3,600 in credit card debt. Now, remember when I told you from the beginning, he was quoted that this whole process was going to take up to 3 years. 3 years to pay off what he owed. Not only that, he still had to pay the lawyers that monthly fee of $230. So I'm going to erase. Hopefully you guys understood this. It was pretty much just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat until you get to that final balance. And like I said, by the time payment number, but he gets paid the 18th time in his biweekly schedule, he's going to have more than enough to liquidate that $1,011.84 payment. And then he's going to be in a lot better position. This, like I said, it'll take about anywhere between 8.5 to 9 months. And the nice thing is that by this time, what's going to be happening in the background is his credit is going to continue to be strengthened because he's using it. He's managing it appropriately. He's staying under the 50% DTI, right? This has a limit of 6,000. He's only going to be using 2,835. His credit score is going to go up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to apply for a home equity line of credit so then we can start tackling the 97,000, which is his mortgage. And for that, what we're going to do is we're going to tune in right about month number 6 or 7. We're going to see how he's doing, and we're going to talk about how this situation has progressed for him. And I have a special video and an updated scenario just for that as well. But this is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. What we're going to do, not only we're able to do all of this for him, right? Let's look at how much money he actually saved. So we know he sped up in paying the $19,000, but here's something else that happened, right? If it takes, we're going to say it's going to take 9 months for him to do this, somewhere between 8.5 to 9 months. If in 9 months he had paid the lawyer fees, that would have been an additional. Actually, no, I take that back. He's already paid 6 months. Before he sat with me, before we got on the call, he was already 6 months into this. So we're moving forward. So he would have had at least an additional 2.5 years to pay this off or to finish this with the lawyer, and we helped to speed that up. So let's look at how that impacted him. So 6 months plus another 9 months, that's 15 months, which would have gave him a balance. He still would have had to work with them for another 21 months. So this strategy is saving this client $4,830. That's what it's saving him by doing this strategy, not having to wait the 3 months or the 3 years rather to pay all of this debt off. Okay. And if you remember, when we started working with him, one of his goals was to pay this debt off within 3 years. My question to you is, did we achieve that? We most certainly did. We did it up in a lot sooner. We did it in 9 months. The next thing he wanted to do is he wanted to start increasing his savings into his retirement plan. My question to you is, would he be able to do that with some of that money? Most definitely, he'd be able to increase his savings. The third goal that he has is to start putting some money away for his 10-year-old college fund. So again, another question would be, was he able to do that? Yes. He has now $4,830 saved, in addition to an increase in his cash flow that now he can put to work into other things for him, for his family, and things like that. My friends, that's the power of velocity banking. And that's why this is one of the greatest strategies when it comes to totally eliminating your debt and taking that cash flow and repositioning it somewhere else so that you can do things like this, get out of debt quickly, help your children go through college, put money away for that, increase your giving at your churches, increase your giving to the things that are important to you, increase your savings rate for your retirement plan, increase whole life policies if that's something that you're interested in doing as well. So there's so many things, but this is where it all starts. And that's why I said at the beginning, it's so important for you to have goals and for you to write it out, right? We talked about that. It talks about a time in the future where when you put this into place, you're going to see the impact of it. So I hope that this video has been extremely helpful to you. I was super excited to work with him. He's excited to work with us as well. I want you to continue to like and subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell so that you're alerted about other videos that we're going to be doing soon. We're going to continue to do these. I'll continue to have updates with the things that are happening in the market, as well as real life scenarios, so that you can see firsthand how these strategies work and help our clients. So if you have any questions or comments, please put them down below. I try to read all the comments that everyone puts down and try to respond to them in a timely manner. And if you want to do a one-on-one call, you can see my calendar. We can set a time to meet and schedule. Usually it takes about 45, 60 minutes. And we'll get together, have a conversation, understand what it is that you're trying to achieve, what your goals are, what's important to you, and see if we can potentially help you out as well. Until the next video, thank you so much for tuning in today. God bless.